Hi there, everybody. It's Dr. Steve with Kineci, and this is your Understanding Your Pain. We're talking about your knee and an MCL strain. So the medial collateral ligament on the inside. In part one, we started with some gentle getting things moving as you're on the ground, doing a half bridge, and then doing the bridge with the pelvis in the three directions. And then we went in part two to some standing mobility, particularly for the hips, kind of getting the outer part and the inner part of the hip that's leading down into that MCL. And so now in part three, what we're going to do is a dynamic stepping pattern, but we're going to pick some specific directions to minimize the strain and the load on the MCL and to load the outer part of the leg a little bit more. But we're going to keep the knee protected while we ask it to move. So if we're pretending that it's my right knee that's the hurt one, we're going to start with a posterior lunge. And so this is just taking a step back where you're putting a little bit of weight into that leg as you step back. Now, ideally, we want to have the toes mostly pointed forward, but it's pretty natural that the toes want to turn out a little bit, especially if there's any restrictions in the ankle. Sometimes it's hard when, for some people to get the ankle down as they have the toes pointed forward. So having the toes out a little bit is okay, but the big thing that I want to have you do is shift weight onto that stepping leg as it goes behind you and then push back to center. Good. So for this, we are going to do both sides. Even though when we do one side and we're kind of considering the direction that we're going, it asks the other leg to do some stuff too, and that's okay. We're keeping that in mind as we go along, and we're building here. Okay, so we first did a posterior lunge. Now we're going to do a same side lateral, or just often known as a lateral lunge, going out to the side, where as we're shifting weight over here, we're actually putting a little bit more load on the outer part of the knee versus the inner part. But as I was saying just a moment ago, the trailing leg, the stationary leg, that gets a little bit of a stretch through that MCL part. So as we switch legs, and if we're saying that my right one is the one that's got the strain and the injury, going out to the left puts a little more load into it, but you just listen to the body, only go as far as you can go under control and pain-free. And this is good gradual loading of those tissues. Good, okay. So now, sticking on that same theme, we're going to go one more direction. This is going to be a rotation. But again, what we're going to do is position the body so that we're putting more load on the outer part of the leg and a little less strain on the inner part. So we're going to do an opposite side rotation lunge, which means as the foot comes across the body, it's turning around the corner. My right foot is turning to the left, and that's why we call it an opposite side rotation. So as I get my weight onto that leg, we're kind of again loading this outer part of the hip. That makes life better for knees when the outer and the side of the butt is working better. And we're getting the inner part of the knee moving, but we're just doing it in a gentle fashion, trying not to overload it in this stage when it's tender and healing. So as we go to the other side, now this doesn't put as much strain on the MCL for the stationary leg as the last direction, but we still want to just listen to the body along the way, make adjustments if we need to according to what it's telling us, but I'm expecting this will be comfortable and doable for you. And as you keep moving like that, it's one of the ways that we're building the confidence, having the brain trust the parts because they're getting the signal, hey, look, we're doing this over and over and over again, nothing bad is happening. And so that's where the wiring gets reprogrammed so that it starts to trust the parts again. So that will get you going on helping your knee, understanding your pain, getting you moving forward. But if it's more complicated than just those couple of things for you, be sure to come in and let us figure it out. Let us work together to kind of understand what your body needs are and then help you with the plan moving forward. So if you or anybody that you love struggling with knee pain, let us help. Send them in and we'll take care of them. So until next time, keep moving, everybody.